Okay, let's get this started. Switch to the actual screen and see who we're starting with. It's Persia. For the time being, not nominated for any awards, but I think that might be changing relatively soon. Actually, curious, what were they doing this last? Of course, someone is. It's not a civil war, but it is. It is some kind of internal conflict. Okay, Persia is nominated for the segment of Slasher Europe, as expected. And there you go. And let's see how they're doing. They don't have any money problems. Um, Wait, I think I'm having some audio issues. No, no, it should be fine. Okay, never mind. Despite still being not a recognized power, they do not have any issues with that, which can be a real problem for some of them. They do not have landowners, but they still have a church in power, and church is super powerful. Probably mostly from state religion and religious school, even though that's only past 40% and they have almost 30% cloud, so that's not too bad. The monarch is in the ulema, so that's pretty nice that they can have them in the government. The legitimacy is alright. They are switching to wealth voting. Okay. Still racial segregation, state religion, not much of a problem, though in those new states, let me see. It might be a bit of an issue. Yeah, it's all Sunni, which means all of those pops are going to be, of course, migrating to somewhere in the British market. Yeah, all discriminated. Whew, yeah, I think those places might be going down. What's the? Are we going to Great Britain still, or is India now the best place to go on the British market? Oh, maybe the Mick didn't switch. Let me see. That is possible. I've been having some issues with the microphone. Oh. How is it now? I've been flipping it on and off like 3 times. Yeah, now should be fine. Okay, yeah, so Persia probably should want to do something about it before they all go somewhere. Yeah, that's a billion people that they badly need, but might not be for long. I assume, yeah, most of the places have negative migration. It's pretty rough being a minor unrecognized power inside of a great powers customs union. They have proportional taxation, one of the very few nations that do. However, national militia, they might have switched to it. Possibly for some support. They start with professional army, which I think is just better for fighting. They do have interventionism, which is good enough, I suppose. It's not like they would be able to construct much more with laissez-faire. Homesteading, local police force, religious schools, and no health system. That's not ideal. I think that they do have compulsory primary school. That's good. Didn't they have a health system at some point? And I mean, since they have such a strong church, they could just get it pretty easily. Maybe it was not their priority. There have been quite a few issues for Persia in the last few sessions, but still, probably would want to do something about that. They do have their wages low, but yeah, they're not doing too bad on money. They're still focusing on opium, I assume. Do they have any oil rigs? Okay, currently they have almost 40 oil rigs. They will be able to build up to a ton. Oh my god, yeah. Certainly a ton. Definitely more than my capacity is. But that's good to know that someone is going to be exporting all that oil. They actually have... The Persia is super good when it comes to resources too, but it's just they start with nothing, so they need to catch up. Ideas like what? Oh yeah. I wonder how much oil is there in Iraq, but I guess I'll see that with Arabia. 200 construction is not too much. Even though all the rigs are not being built, are not very expensive when it comes to construction, it is taking quite a long time. They're part of the British market, might as well look at it now. And they are sorely lacking cars. Pops just love cars. Every pop just wants to have a car, no matter where they live. They always just want cars. Telephones have... Did they switch? Oh yeah, someone switched to telephones administration. Looks like India. And well, I suppose if only they are using it, then it doesn't hurt anyone else, but still the price of telephone is really high. And I guess they're the one nation that would really need all that administration. Still not enough engines, not enough iron. Glass also high. Yeah, as always, problems with the British market. South Bengal is, and Luristan I think is in Persia, right? Yeah. And South Bengal is actually the second biggest producer of oil in the British market, which is interesting. East Anglia also somewhere in there on top. And at the bottom we see opium, of course. Fabric. And some really cheap goods, not that important. They are managing their hardwood. That's pretty good to see. Very cheap grain, not as cheap as it was only India, but still minus 20%. Oh my god, they have so much rubber. Imagine having that much rubber. Yep, minus 16, and they actually border you, Simon, so it is fairly easy to import rubber from the British market for you. And almost border you through here. Military is absolutely tiny, but it's to be expected. Production, well, they are finished with third age. I'm not sure how the other more unrecognized nations and South America are doing, so it's hard for me to currently compare. We've been through like almost 15 years last session, so quite a few texts might have been able to be passed. But actually, let me take a quick look so I know what I'm comparing stuff to. Let's say Brazil. Okay. Maybe Arabia and Japan, let's say. Japan probably being the most ahead, I assume. Ooh, skipping tax. Risky business. Yeah, as expected, looks like Japan is the first of those nations. On society, they're doing really good actually. But anyways, back to Persia. Their GDP is tiny, all things considered, including per capita as well. They will be having some issues integrating those pops, though I think, well, maybe if they switch fully to oil economy, they are part of the British market, so there will be a lot of, even if they don't have any convoys, there will be a lot of oil required in the market, so maybe this is their way to actually high GDP per capita. But currently, like, I don't think things are looking that great. There's actually a significant amount of radicals, isn't it? Over 25%, and no loyalists too, which is a bit annoying. And despite that, plus an approval from industrialists. That's what happens when there's like 20k of them. Yeah, that not. Wait, actually, I can look at military is not too bad. Actually, they're starting H3. Yeah, society is a bit behind. Tech is not too bad, but I think Persia is not that great. I think they have, if they use their oil well, they can really boost their economy. Actually, how much do they have in here? It's not that much. But for the time being, with the immigration sucking up all their pops, either to United Kingdom or to Egypt, I think they go to C. And we can keep rolling now. It's a race. Will the last person have time to start digging oil in Persia before they move to United Kingdom and Italy? Yeah, 200. I mean, I'm not surprised they have a tiny economy. They might be the smallest player economy in the game. Persia, yeah. Arabia is ahead of them, having more than double GDP. What? Yeah, doesn't seem like there's any players. Let's look at Italy. Apparently they have some problems with subsidies. Yeah, they also have quite a bit of debt. So it's 200k in subsidies. Italy, they would want to remove. Oh yeah, it's their capitalists who are building power plants. Actually, it doesn't always happen. But in my experience, they do eventually build stuff. If there's a requirement for power, they will build. And that's still not ideal. Yeah, almost 1000 construction, which I think is respectable. Yeah, but they can just raise taxes. They don't have that many. They have actually a lot of loyalists, not that many radicals. There's really no issue. No, yeah, no problem. Cash is not a problem. A lot of trade unions, 25%, that's a lot. Petit bourgeoisie, 16. Industrialists, 30. Yeah, I guess, yeah, that's the biggest one. 10% intelligentsia, okay. Legitimate government, that's very nice. Probably helping them a lot with those loyalists. Parliamentary republic, universal suffrage. That's probably not many players have that. Army, appointed bureaucrats, separation, proportional taxation. Oh, I wonder if how many great powers actually have that. It's probably helping them. If they didn't have that, they would be kind of screwed with their current expenses, but they're fine as is. Laissez-faire, free trade, no colonial affairs, commercial agriculture, all institutions doing fine. They're switching to women's suffrage from legal guardianship. That's a bit of a change. Protected speech, very nice. Yeah, those are looking all pretty good. And yeah, they want to ban industry and enact ethno-state, and those cannot be agitators cannot be removed because of the protected speech. But it doesn't seem like they're going to be doing much. I think the church might be. Yeah, church is already marginalized, so why? I guess they can support even when marginalized. And it's going to be only 4k radicals per month. That's really not an issue. Let's look at their market. People who really want fine art, like everywhere, really want cars, which is Pops just really love cars more than you'd think, honestly. Rubber, of course, an issue. They're importing from mostly from the US, so not from Great Britain. The Brits are importing a bit to them. Can they themselves start? Yeah, they could be importing a ton more from those places, but looks like they have already some issues with ports. If I were you, I would just build those ports everywhere. But I have a bit of an issue with ports, so maybe I'm looking at this from a bit of a biased angle. Telephone's a bit more expensive, but that's just new goods, so needs some balancing. And they're actually, yeah, they're mainly exporting it. They're actually top 2 producer of telephones. That's interesting. Rubber engines still missing. Yeah, unfortunately I'm not able to export as much as I used to, mostly because, again, of the convoys. I will need to figure something to fix that. Radios starting to be produced, already being used in barracks. A bit of expensive meat, but it's not too much of an issue. Dyes, probably they're using a lot of them, yeah, in textile mills. Coal being a bit expensive, and steel, and groceries, and lead. There is actually all of it combined is a bit much. Oh, what's their capacity for oil? 60 altogether, not too bad, but they're probably not going to be exporting. Oh, yeah, it said something about Sardinia being whatever this is. What could be the issue here? What are the pops doing? Let's see. They're just migrating like crazy. Yeah, they're working in mostly government. People in lead mines are starving. Oh, that's... Yeah, with such small numbers it may be something just temporary. The ports are working, which is usually what I see happening. That's 30k, that's a significant chunk of their current workforce, if not most of it. Where can I see meaningfully employed on this in this state? His qualifications to fill all current vacancies? I don't think so. Oh, officers and servicemen. Do you have much army here? No, not really, but I guess 4k is one of the only meaningful employments. It's just there's too much empty work and it's just bugging out because there's not enough pop. Yeah, it looks like all people are employed either in railway, in ports, or in the army. Yeah, 1, 1, 0. And there's just not any more people, that's it. And they're all migrating out for some reason. There's 100 in power plant, which used to be subsidized just before the save was made. Yeah, I'm guessing there's just too much. Yeah, it's all singular buildings as well. Subsistence farming. No, there's no peasants here. I think there's too many potential jobs. Yeah, it's all level 1s. So they're just stealing the few employers that were here. The coal mines were pretty decent sized. Maybe they were all just stealing pops from each other until like it was slowly getting worse and worse. Those 8 guys doing the Lord's work on steel. Yeah, that's possible. That's possible that PM1 was stealing so many pops that eventually cascaded into this, and people just eventually always flock to ports and other government jobs that are guaranteed by the state. Yeah, I think Paradox should really give us some more abilities to influence this kind of to prevent this kind of states being abandoned by people. Happens in a lot of places. Armenia, even Azerbaijan might be a huge issue for Persia because there's a lot of oil here and there's no population to work anything basically. Yeah, they're already struggling to fill whatever the few buildings they have. So this is actually relevant to Persia as well. For me, it's just my coastal states. Yeah, very hard to get anything done in those. So at least if I need ports in them, it's the easiest one to do. But getting more migration to places that... it's rough. Yeah, maybe oil, but still it's gonna be slow. 60 buildings is needing a lot of workers. But maybe they will be able to do it. Italy is getting suffrage. So from what I've seen, I've let the game play for like 5 years in single player after we ended, and it very slowly changes the dependence, but it does work like a constant income of peasants. So I wasn't building anything as a government, it was just my capitalists, and they actually couldn't feel the amount of peasants that were coming, so it is, I guess, something. I wonder how much I will have at the end of the game. Especially since I'm also having the unions happy, so they also give more workers. C-Tech, they are halfway done with H4, which I think is alright. Got a few techs, almost halfway done with H4 in military as well. And in society, I think they're a bit behind, because they're still finishing H3. But not too bad. They do have protected speech, so this is really good for catching up. Currently they have all of their companies are prosperous, which is not not as easy, at least for me. For example, my steel mills have never been prosperous throughout the entire game for some reason. So I guess I always had pretty low prices of steel, so maybe that's why. Flotilla 6 in the world, but March 250 battalions. Let me do a quick check of the naval power across the globe. So we have United States, Great Britain, Germany. I guess those three will be. That's 6,000. 17,000. 15,000. And Germany. 13,000. Okay, so Germany is now number 3 actually. Maybe Spain, France. Is France stronger than Italy in Navy as well? Yeah, but just slightly. Oh, Yeah. I should join a VC. I'm there. How they're doing? They're number 9. Though Japan is just about to catch them. Do they have any more peasants? They do not have peasants, basically. Not at all. Do they have any more? Looks like they... Once they get assembly lanes, they might be able to get a fair amount more. Though not that much, maybe 500,000 together. Oh, there's gonna be a lot of services. And cheaper coal, that's actually would be very nice for Italy. They do have some issues with coal. Though that would also require getting electricity everywhere, so a bit more micromanagement. Oh, this would be... Actually, they had to have a lot of fisheries, so I suppose that makes sense. Well, they would gain that... Oh, no, 25,000. Well, there's still a lot of automation to do, but I don't see them having that much more space. Though, I guess with women's suffrage, this should help quite a bit. Surpass France, 50 more million, I think. Ah, surpass France in Navy, yeah. In economy, it might be tough. They do have like 20 more million population. Yeah. Not impossible. Especially if France keeps losing stuff here and there. I mean, for example, Corsica, it's not a French homeland. No, there's... Okay, never mind. Corsica is... It's actually homeland to barely anyone at this point. It's those islands, man. Yeah. Same here in Balears. Malta, of all places, I guess because it's part of the United Kingdom, so a lot of people were migrating in here. Crete is actually a half-decent island, but yeah, those islands, man, just can't seem to keep their population on them. How's Cuba? Yeah, Cuba is healthy, it's big enough, but in Santo Domingo there's 50k people, and in Haiti there's 1.3 million. Okay, that's interesting. I think for the time being Italy goes into B, but I'm not sure if they have how their future is going to be. They have a fair amount of automation more to do, and they will be getting more workers from women's suffrage, but long term, I don't know, man. Japan is, I'm pretty sure, is going to be overtaking them just based on their population. Yeah, that's 15 more million. Maybe not very soon, because Italy still has a bit more room to grow, but if we have another 15-year session, then I'm pretty sure Japan is going to overtake them, especially if they actually expand into Korea and stuff, as they are planning to. Oh, the race is on. Okay. Is Japan actually doing the fight currently with Korea? Yeah, they are. Okay, interesting. Let's start rolling. And the next one is going to be Ultimate Underdog. And it's Mexico. So fitting. Let's see what the AI did with this poor nation. Yeah, apparently they're not using their construction at all. Though that's interesting that Mexico has more construction than Italy. Though not that surprising considering how much Mexico is getting from minting. Almost half of their government income is from minting, and a huge chunk of it is from gold mines. So obviously they will be able to get more construction than would seem for their size. Universal suffrage as well, state religion. They didn't manage to change that one, which is probably very annoying at this point. Yeah, the church is still the strongest interest group. The army, national guard, elected bureaucrats, nice. Mercantilism, which apparently is bad because of the trade-centered production methods, per capita taxation, homesteading. Probably should be able to change this one. Yeah, because they do not have... Oh, they actually still have landowners in power, but it's only 11%, so not much of an issue. Religious schools still in, no migration controls, unfortunately. Well, it's not ideal, still plenty of work to be done, but not too bad either. It's possible AI lowered those institutions, happens a lot. And yeah, they do have bureaucracy for it, so there's no reason to have those off. Yeah, they only cost 200. Money is of course doing super fine when they're not constructing anything. AI is not putting... Yeah, AI sometimes does a lot of stuff with production method, and then you have to check it all one by one, which is very annoying. They didn't do anything extremely stupid, but they still have private owned, which I'm not sure how exactly is publicly traded better. It does mean more capitalists, but for example, how do you get 22 more K from having 50 more capitalists in weekly balance? How does that work? I'm not entirely sure. Even more if they get 500 shopkeepers. Okay. Ports are not being turned at the highest. They only have 2,000 convoys, that's really not that many. Let's look at the American market. Even America is missing cars. Yeah. It's basically me, Germany, United Kingdom and United States that are producing any cars, and the entire world really want cars. So it's hard to give them what they need. Though all those free nations, like when you look at the population, mostly the British market is just America's British market is huge, and then me and Germany are exporting to everyone in Europe. And yeah, definitely not enough cars for everyone currently. Still missing fine arts. I don't know, just people need more fine arts. I actually was building a ton of them last session. Oh, something to do with wages and dividends, yeah. But still, either way, does it mean that they get less dividends on average so much that they actually end up getting less? That's strange, but maybe possible. Telephones still missing. Those just luxurious goods, so not much of an issue, but the groceries being super low for United States and being very expensive. Meat as well, which means it's not going to be that easy to increase grocery production. Engines being expensive, rubber being expensive. Damn. Those greedy Americans using all their rubber on tools. Honestly, I think I'm going to be lowering amount of rubber I'm spending on tools, because tools are so cheap anyways. And I need rubber more for other things. Coal a bit expensive, but not too much. Glass, iron. It's not ideal, but should be workable. Especially with, I think some places in Brazil have bonus to livestock farms. In agriculture, I guess it counts as agriculture, right? Yeah. So Brazil probably could help solve this issue, but I'm curious how their current situation is, because last time Brazil had some issues, and they did have a civil war, if I recall. That's the market. Their tech, they're halfway done with H4. Yeah, 4. They do have all the most important stuff. I probably think they would want pneumatic tools a bit earlier because of the I assume there's still resources to be discovered in Mexico. Or maybe not. No, there's oil in here. How much did they discover already? Oh my god, that's a lot of oil. Yeah, American market is going to be just overflowing with oil. Yeah, they will need a lot more text from here. Behind on military as usually, though they would probably want to at least get to the next port tech, and they can just ignore military for the rest of the game. And society also not that great. They do have a huge military for what it's worth, but with their tech level, that's also so it's 1300. Spain, for example, has only 9000. 23, 21, 17. Okay, so Mexico could kind of compete with Great Britain, at least on their standing armies. Be a bit tougher to consider with the mobilization. Okay, Georgia just wrote a lot, so let's see. Wait. So the wages get lowered when you change, and the wages of both capitalists and shopkeepers is pretty low, but it calculates it as high since they also get dividends. Oh, so they get no pay once you switch, but they do get dividends, which also then go to them. Yeah, okay. I think that's what you meant. So it is saving money in a way, because it means the capitalists can get less, and they're gonna be prolonging firing people for longer, I suppose. And more capitalist is better, mostly. Yeah, but the AI control, it's not doing many favors to Mexico. It's hard to even consider how they're doing, because there's like this random stuff. All the production methods are probably not optimized. The construction is not being done at all. I guess they're just going to be, but they could go next session. They could really go up and maybe go back into top 11. 50 million. If they get a punch from oil and from fixing just AI mistakes, they could catch up for a while, though they probably wouldn't be able to stay in top 10 just because of the population, unfortunately. Actually, they have 400 army, and they still have no issues with money. Oh, I guess construction, never mind. Let's keep rolling. Yeah, okay. So it is apparently as I thought. That they get dividends instead of pay, so in theory the building is saving money. Germany, let's see if they are still the S-tier nation they have been for the last few sessions. Apparently they're having issues with just not having enough pops. They do have their population still increasing by almost 1 million every year. And it looks like they're trying to include a few more people, yeah, because currently they're discriminating 8? Well, a good few million. Including some people in their colonies, but Polish, French, Danish, Sorb, oh yeah, Sorbs in Lithuanians, that's all in the actual core German lands. Yeah, they apparently have issues with their infrastructure. They lost, I think, some power from one of the interest groups, and now they do not have people to ban the infrastructure. But them oppressing pops shouldn't have much of an issue on their actual working. They get less paid, they have less political strength, less likely to develop qualifications, naturally become radicals, are more likely to emigrate, but they don't have really anywhere to emigrate in the German market, I think. Yeah, they have Scandinavia and Belgium and Denmark. Just all just desolate places. Sweden, I think their population kind of oh no, never mind. Oh, the Swedish population is just sad. They still haven't rebounded from what the USA did to them. They are at least gaining now, but oh my god, that's rough. I assume Denmark is oof. Yeah, they lost a ton of population in those few civil wars. Probably mostly to immigration. Yeah, they had a revolution in Iceland. All 20k people rised up. Yeah, Norway has. No, even they are losing pop. It's tough being in a GP market, especially when you're AI. Netherlands is in the British market, which okay. That happened. Yeah, the German market is just that, right? They don't really have any colonies, except for Africa, I suppose. And they have been colonizing pretty damn fast, damn. They're pretty much done. Not that much pops in those compared to some other places like actual Sahel. Yeah, there's millions in those states and hundreds of thousands at the best in those over here. See, this is a not insignificant amount of population, though it's all discriminated, and they're not able to migrate even if they wanted to, and I'm not sure they would migrate to actual Central Germany if they're discriminated. They're trying to switch into culture. Inclusion will help, but not that much in terms of pops from outside of actual Germany. Census suffrage, so they do not have universal, which probably means their trade unions are not as strong. Apparently that's hugely correlated, though I have census suffrage and have pretty strong trade unions. You're talking about the African ones? Yeah, I mean there's a fair amount of coal, not that much honestly. But it's also not that relevant because there's so much coal in actual Germany. Yeah, he could be getting so much more. Coal is not an issue. I've been thinking that iron eventually could become, but yeah, it's gonna be fine. Lead, maybe it is starting to run low. Oil, for a while Germany was one of the top oil producers because they actually have a fair amount. It's about as much as Italy currently has from Tripolitania and Libya, but possibly there's more? No, that's all they get, unfortunately. Let's look at technology. Production almost finished with H4, very nice. Almost finished with H3 in military. So it is a bit of a slowdown compared to what was Germany doing with their military before. And finishing H4, yeah, definitely in the top position when it comes to technology. They have protected speech as well. And they do not have laissez-faire, which I think at this point makes a lot of sense for them because it's not like they need more that much construction when they don't have people anyways. Though you need to keep in mind and still produce stuff, new buildings, because a million new pops is quite a few buildings. We have a compulsory primary school getting to 83% literacy, commercial agriculture, still no proportional taxation, which would help them. Currently they apparently have some slight money issues, but of course just raise taxes, lower wages, and pretty much solved. So nothing critical. Especially then the credit is, yeah. They would have to keep even this balance for a long time before they actually have run into any problems. Their market, telephones, fine arts issues everywhere. They are using a lot of oil compared to probably most nations. Yeah, they're already importing 3k oil and still having not enough. They're even importing from Japan, so yeah, those poor whales. They have huge. That's kind of unfortunate. They're missing a lot of engines and they don't have that much capacity to increase their production. They're missing also rubber, cars like everyone. Not silk, they're actually using a ton of silk despite not producing any themselves, not even from synthetic silk, which they could be producing at this point. But there's a few problem goods, mostly those that they need to be importing, but other than that the prices are really low across the board. Damn, must be nice to have so much sulfur. They're probably exporting it to... they're actually exporting mostly to the Russian market. That's interesting. I would think that Russia has plenty of sulfur for themselves. They have a very high amount of loyalists, so that's pretty good. Are they missing any... They actually should go for... Yeah, this should be their priority, 100k. Oh, I think they switched to privately owned to save some workers. Which I guess in the biggest amounts of buildings is not nothing, but also not really significant, I don't think. Even if they do have peasants, they're probably mostly in Africa. Yeah, 300k is nothing really because it's 100k spread over God knows how many states, so it's really not that much population that's still without jobs. It's gonna be interesting what Germany manages to do with their current situation as it is. I'm going to put them in A because they're still... Oh wait, their GDP is actually number 4. Well, they are ahead in tech, they do have really good literacy, they do have pretty good GDP per capita. Yeah, but no longer S, and I'm kind of worried about them in the long term. Wonder what they're going to do, what they're planning to do, and what will they be able to achieve with what they have. They do have property to women, but not that much possibility right now to get women's suffrage, which would be a nice additional 10% of workers. And yeah, the trade unions are kind of weak. They though they are loyal, so at least they get plus 5% workforce ratio. Okay, so that's gonna be Germany. Let's keep going. And we have Bengal, which I forgot is actually India currently. They have some people who really want interventionism, which is probably not what they want compared to laissez-faire. And this is a bit of an annoying movement because it's already at 70%, but it's not any reaction to a law being passed, so there's not much you can do. They are getting protected speech, which will make doing something about it even higher. They exiled someone just recently. This might be a bit of a problem. And it is going to be such a huge revolution that they pretty much don't stand a chance. Maybe even with a British intervention it would be a pretty annoying affair. Just because of the Well, the current standing armies are not big, and it is not really. You cannot really predict that AI will surely mobilize. They might not, which would probably allow Great Britain and everyone else in the British market to kick down the revolution. Because India really wants laissez-faire. Yeah, they have very strong rural folk, still landowners present. Petit bourgeoisie getting kind of ahead of other, let's say, more modern interest group like workers' unions, which usually appear this time. Intelligentsia is fairly powerful. They don't even have that many radicals, but I guess the radicals are really concentrated in the rural folk, despite being lowered by quite a bit recently, apparently. They do have a legitimate government, which is very nice. Presidential republic, census suffrage, all really nice stuff here. Laissez-faire, protectionism, per capita taxation. Not much chance to switch it anytime soon. Private health insurance, which is annoying, probably. Not helping them much. No legal guardianship, but probably that's the better option for them, considering they still have a ton of peasants, I assume. Yep. They are in a minority now, but still. A ton more people to put into factories. Institutions are doing well. This might be annoying. Might be able to. It's not going to be firing anytime soon, but it's getting more radicals, getting some annoying events. Technocracy, that's also annoying sometimes. Maybe they will be forced to just enact it and switch to laissez-faire again later, which is also delaying their expansion of economy. They are finished with age-free tax, military quite a bit behind, but like most nations, honestly. And society, yeah, finishing age-free. And they will be getting protected speech, which should be allow them to catch up a fair amount. Well, they are number 1 GDP by a huge margin. They grow apparently about the size of France during the last session. And they are part of the British market, which is probably benefiting them the most out of all the other places. I wonder, are people moving in? Yep. People are moving in from Persia, at least. From other British colonies as well. Yeah, they've been a target of Kazakh culture of all places, okay. Yeah, they're getting a fair amount of immigration as well. How is Great Britain doing when it comes to immigration? They're getting positive. They're not losing pops anywhere, at least. Oh, so producing silk apparently is really, really bad for your economy, says Joacho. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I didn't go for it myself. Though I can produce a little bit of silk, but I think the pepperine epidemic is still ongoing. I'm pretty sure I had the edict for a year, but something was kind of weird. I remember I had to, in single player, I had to reset it to actually fire. So, not that I actually just switched out of using any silk, so I'm just importing the ready goods, luxurious clothes and furniture. I think if we disregard the revolution, India is on a really good path currently to expand their influence. Economical influence, I mean, in the world, because apparently they're not doing much when it comes to military. But I think, yeah, British market, Great Britain has been working hard on putting everywhere in the Indochina in their market, as well as Siam. I think they're going to see C. That would be rough. By the way, I do like Japan, so I decided that instead of I can just edit the previous flag of Japan, and we get this. Much better, right? Not sure if, yeah, you should be able. Oh, no, you cannot see it. Now you can see it. Yeah, I got the pop-up that you shared shared the solution. I even found out the solution myself, which might be the issue actually. Should I even get the event that I found the solution myself if you gave it to me? Maybe something did work out. Quick look at France, which is an AI. They apparently have been building a ton of military, like all AI does. Which is kind of interesting. Looks like AI just has certain ideas of how many troops it should have, disregarding the actual like the states of their neighbors. Though maybe they don't have that much more than Germany, for example, and they have been losing wars, so maybe. In GDP they're getting kinda low. I mean, as a great power, they're not that far behind Great Britain, I suppose. So that's something. They do have okay amount of money, their laws. Not too many radicals. They have, interesting, they have mostly rural folk, which I don't think usually happens in great powers. The laws look okay mostly. Protectionism, private schools and private health insurance, okay. With their low standard of living, that might not be ideal. Yeah, for some reason AI doesn't really like spending too much on institutions. Though at least in this case they don't have bureaucracy compared to what happened with Mexico. Oh, it looks like they are pretty behind on tech, I think. About the same as Germany in military. Starting on age 4 with society. Yeah, I think France is ever so slightly sliding into C as a great power. They're still not doing too bad. If a player showed up on them, they could probably fix it up quite a bit. But it's also not ideal. Ryan is still good to get because you would much rather import silk or dyes. So to nuke synthetic plants with Ryan. So you want to sabotage your dyes factories? I mean, I'm producing dye a fair amount. Maybe I shouldn't, I guess, but I couldn't import it from anyone. Okay, so that's France being done. We might be able to get below 3 hours. Would be a deal. Yeah, I would want to, but apparently we don't have any more convoys, both of us. Next one is going to be nominated for Sigmund of Slasher Europe. Actually, I had an idea for elevating our issue a little bit, Joachim, but we'll talk about this a bit later. It's not going to be huge, but at least something. Well, who would have thought? It's Portugal going for the sick man. The wheel knows the truth with its nomination so far. But look at how my favorite colonial nation is doing. Well, colonial in that they have colonies. People really want national militia. Honestly, I would just give it to them. And get those 2 million loyalists. It's not like there's that much military in Portugal to begin with. See, their core states are not ideal. Though I guess at this point, let's see. How much of their states are integrated? This is incorporating. It's mostly being incorporated. This one is incorporated, so there's one. I guess it just takes so long that that's Somaliland also. Even if they started a few of those in the previous session, and I don't think that's most of them, they would be still ongoing. Do they have... they do have multiculturalism. And yeah, they're accepting actually everyone. So they are in position... Like, at this point, well, they are in a kind of transition period, but at this point they're not a colonial nation, they're just a normal nation with all of those pops. And that's actually a significant population. They will need like additional 15 years to transition that, and their border looks kinda strange. But I suppose with also the help of the British market, maybe, so they have 28 million. Certainly their GDP will be able to bounce back a fair amount. I mean, at least they should be able to compete with Mexico on population. On the GDP. Probably not Italy, because they will need quite a few years to actually begin growing like a normal nation. But yeah, that's going to be interesting. They actually managed to get... do they have someone who is... It's a feminist, it's a reformer. How did they get it? I mean, there's no one in favor currently, so maybe someone who was in favor died or something? Yeah, probably. They got a bit of an issue with debt, but they have positive income, and is it a lot of radicals? It's a fair amount of radicals, but not critical. They are getting public healthcare, possibly. Yeah, pretty good success. Yeah, inclusive healthcare is, I think you're pretty much guaranteed to get that plus 20%, so it's not that hard to get public healthcare, even with a relatively small amount of success percentage at the start. Mercantilism still, interventionism, though I guess maybe they would use their construction right now. They have only slightly more than Persia. Actually, I should take a look at France. How much construction do they have? Ooh, 800. Yeah, that's not great. And Germany, probably Germany is reducing amount of the construction they have. 1,000. Yeah, that's a fair amount. Probably enough for what they will be getting from their pop growth. Who else did I not look? Oh yeah, let's look at India and Italy when it comes to construction. Almost 3,000 construction for India. Not surprising. Oh, there's a list for construction in the general chat. Let me see. India, Russia. Why does Russia have such lower wages? Is it do you have different production methods on some of those sectors or something? Doesn't seem like you would with the amounts of construction capacity. In the United States, Japan, Mexico, Italy. Italy is a bit low, but they do have some problems with cash flow currently. Government wages are very low, of course, yeah, that makes sense. Portugal pretty low. Portugal will probably want to increase their construction pretty soon. Let's see how many peasants they have. Yeah, they have actually 3 million. Nah, 3 million with 200. They need more construction, period. Though they do not have that much more money to get. Though I guess they're also not taxing out of the provinces. They are in this kind of weird transitioning period, so... Let's look at their tax quickly. Ooh, only starting on. I guess their literacy is going to taking a nosedive. Yeah. Army is okay. Society is pretty good. I think currently Portugal is in C, simply because their core states are really bad currently. Like even Beira, which has been carrying their economy for the longest time. I mean the continental economy, of course. Their actual economy was being carried by gold mines over here. But it's just 4% now, which is way less than it was, and those two are 0. And Alentejo is actually one of those deserted states, like all those islands in Mediterranean. Trying to see what the other dead states are. Looks like continental states are less prone to this happening. Though it did happen in Russia, for example, in Armenia. Not yet. Okay, we'll see. So now Portugal is entering a new age of their economy and their history. We'll see if they will be able to do something with it. They don't have quite the population from the colonies they could maybe want, but it's not too bad. They might be able to compete with Mexico at the just outside of the top 10 probably. And now Russia, let's see. Hello. Oh, hey. Let's see how you're doing. Do I remember correctly your GDP suddenly dropping at the end of the session?
I dropped a little bit, and the US grew a little bit right at the end.
Yeah, I think
the war with China.
You guys were just. Oh, you're getting a movement for proportional taxation. Really nice.
Yeah, that'll be extra 400k at the current tax law. That's right.
Yeah, that would be really nice. Though, do you need that much more construction? Oh, you do. You have a lot of peasants. And
yeah, those Chinese peasants need to be put to work.
Oh yeah, apparently they're. You didn't get. I guess unless you're counting Manchuria as well. Yeah, there's a lot of people in there. Because what you took in the most recent war was not that much population, I think.
No, but it has a lot of sulfur potentially.
Oh yeah, and lead. Lead is also nice.
It is, but sulfur is the one that Russia needs.
Yeah. I saw you actually importing out even more than I do from Germany, and I'm also super sulfur starved. Unfortunately.
There's a few more states in China that I'm thinking of getting, which I can now get easily because most cultivable.
Yeah, multiculturalism. You probably have everyone accepted at this point.
Yep, and also Persian as well. Religion.
Nice.
So no one's discriminated.
Public schools, private health insurance still. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but it's a bit annoying, I suppose. Free trade, commercialized agriculture, property owned, compulsory primary school. Yeah, all fine.
Need to change free speech to
Yeah. That's
be one of the low twos.
That would be really nice for your tech.
Right assembly is what I'm going to go for because I need to complete the journal entry, freedom of thought. Because when I complete that, I get the new Colossus journal entry, and if you complete that, which I meet all the requirements, you can get a permanent 25% percentage bonus in migration and traction.
Ooh, that would be nice. Though,
so combine that.
When you're the only one in your market that actually wouldn't be as
I'm the only one in my market, yeah.
Yeah, I feel the migration rate is mostly useful for sucking up pops from other people in your customs union, because when you're like competing with United States for those global migration groups, it's tough. They have absolutely huge.
It is, but having the plus 25%, because I'm multiculturalism and all that, means that some of the mass migration events.
Yeah, I guess United States are helping us all with their atheism.
Yeah, that was the biggest misplay I think they've done. But
Let's see at the
Yeah,
Russian
but-
market. Phones being expensive, that's most places. Glass is surprisingly expensive.
yeah, last session I switched to using the steel frame building on math.
Oh, yeah, only last session. Oh, right. Yeah. I remember you being on the previous tech. Oil, but not that much oil being used, so it's not surprising. It's expensive. Engines, rubber. Yeah, rubber is tough. But everything else is decent priced. Really cheap iron, nice. And liquor, of
Yeah.
course. And wine.
And the weapons. Can't get the weapons.
Yeah, weapons are, I think, cheap in most places in the world. Usually. Let's look at technology. Finishing about halfway done with H4 in production. Pretty good military. You might be up there with Germany, for example. And halfway done with society. Maybe even a bit more. H4 as well. So you are pretty much... even without the free speech, you're pretty much caught up. Maybe just a few techs behind, I think.
I'm aiming for the pro third stage of universities. The extra innovation.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm beelining for.
How much more innovation? Yeah, that's 30%. Well, 50% more innovation. So that's pretty nice. And it's just a bit more paper.
Yep.
So really no issue. Yeah, I think Russia goes into C this session. Number 3 GDP with still much room to increase. Yeah.
I think I can permanently overtake the US next session.
Yeah, probably. Though, how much, for example, do you have capacity for oil? Yeah, you actually have a lot of capacity for oil, though it might be difficult to bring pops to some of those regions.
But then migration. I don't have an limit on internal migration.
Yeah.
So I can just use the edict.
Yeah, I think not all oil is found at this point. Yeah.
No, I'm still finding oil.
Do you have the last... Yeah, you don't have pneumatic tools, so you'll probably be finding those really fast now. Yeah, you won't have problems with oil as well. Yeah. So easy S tier for Russia.
That's nice to hear.
And let's keep going. Next nation is gonna get nominated for Victory.
I'm gonna head out.
Okay, see ya. Thanks for coming by. It's going to be United Kingdom. Okay, let's see how good old UK is doing. They did fail quite a bit in GDP, but that's... Oh my god, when Tommy is playing, they're always on the verge of bankruptcy. I mean, they have pretty good income. They did pause their construction currently. I'm just going to check... I'm going to check in the end how much they would be losing with their construction. How much do they have? Let's see at that very useful list made by Matti. United Kingdom 1000, so as much as Mexico currently, really. And they did increase their taxes to maximum, but that's mostly to speed up the pay down. They're still only paying 60k interest, so the interest is not relevant, but just this amount of debt, man. Like if they were to raise their troops, or there were some problems in their market because of... They stopped subsidizing railways and started subsidizing... It doesn't seem like they're subsidizing power plants. Yeah, at least not at this point, though that does mean a lot of those will be losing workers, but apparently they were not subsidizing. Ooh, that's not ideal. I mean, it's not as bad as I would think, honestly. So this, in the biggest ones, it's the bigger the state is, the worse it looks. That's actually, that might cause quite a while to straighten out. How much peasants do they have? How many peasants? They have a few, though, depending on. There might be, I mean, a decent chunk in those colonies. Yeah, there's 300 here. And let's see. Yeah, they are oppressing a lot of cultures. They do have no migration controls, but I'm not sure how discriminated pops do they migrate to. Would they migrate to Great Britain? I know they would migrate to places where they wouldn't be discriminated. But I don't think they would migrate for a job, though maybe? Oh, Tommy probably won't play next session. I think he did say that he's probably only joining for one, so I'm not entirely surprised. We might be seeing India leaving the British market yet again. Now, honestly, if India and Portugal and Persia left and joined their own market, that would be probably like just India is probably the majority of. Yeah, I'm not surprised if just India was more than 50% of their market GDP, and with those two as well. I mean, Persia is not that much, but Portugal is 100 million. That's probably third nation in their market. Can I see their entire customs union? Yeah, Turkey is almost no. Yeah. So this will be the vast majority of GDP leaving. Which probably will lead to some interesting stuff yet again. Leaving AI with this huge debt as well, though they will probably more finance. Laws look okay. Women's suffrage being done, so they will be getting more peasants slowly. I think that's how it works. I'm interested to see how much percentage of dependents is going to be there at the 1930s. Private health insurance as they had throughout the entire game. They are not doing that great on technology. I mean, they're still at the very front, but they don't have the edge they used to have, which I guess being controlled by AI for a couple of sessions is to be expected. But yeah, this whole infrastructure problem. The first question is going to be, will AI, if it's going to be played by AI, will AI realize that that's the problem and how to fix it? And even if you did just start subsidizing immediately, how fast would the problem resolve itself? Because I don't think it's guaranteed it would happen instantly. Yeah, there's no. I guess it should just strafe as other places are starting to go more and more bankrupt or just firing people. They would have people without jobs who would then join those railways who would have a stable offer stable income. But how long would it take? And of course that's all assuming AI does actually click the right button. That's going to be interesting. We might see Great Britain collapse. Well, would they collapse from having 56% access in their core provinces? Well, I guess as long as they're in the British market with India, it's probably not that much of an issue. Because, I mean, those Midlands has more GDP than all of Persia, so they can produce a ton of stuff for themselves. And they probably are quite rich as well. But if India left and there's to still be left at 56% market access, it's going to be quite terrible for the what remains of British market. So I think, considering that Tommy is probably not going to be playing, there's an issue with that and issue with infrastructure. I think Great Britain currently goes into C. Because I could possibly see a situation where next session they just collapse. Like in comparison, if we assume both are played by AI, France is in a much better spot. So honestly, I'm thinking about boosting France up to be as a considering it's though Great Britain would be fine with a player as well, because I want to keep those AI nations as for like an information if someone wants to pick something. Yeah, I guess they're both are fine in C. And let's go for the next one. I keep forgetting to remove the roulette from the stream. Brazil. Let's see how Brazil did with the issues from the previous session. They had quite a few. They probably solved some of the issues with radicals with that civil war they had. And they still have unacceptable government, which sucks. I've been living with this for a long time. They could potentially switch to something that's 50%, which is much better already. Because even just that enactment time, that's really sucks as well. 50%, it makes things really slower. Especially if you have some bad luck. And they have some annoying movement for homesteading, which has quite a bit of support, causing more radicals. Currently radicals are not looking too bad. Wait, what? It's trade unions, so I don't think there's any reason not to switch to this 50% government. It would cause... actually, no, there is... Oh, maybe they just didn't change it because the elections have just been here and it wasn't an option previously. They could get possibly a bit more education. They do have restricted child labor, local police force, charity hospitals still, so that's a bit annoying. Parliamentary republic, freedom of conscience, cultural exclusion, census suffrage, and only now they're getting laissez-faire. Can I see what they... Oh yeah, so they had intervention... No, they're switching to interventionism? I guess they don't have any more peasants. So they... yeah. Honestly, I'm thinking about switching to interventionism myself pretty soon. Unless, as I said, unless I get some good movement and I'm able to switch into one of the economic systems. I wouldn't mind that as well. But honestly, a bit more control over what's in my states would be pretty nice. Especially since at this point of the game, you probably want to commit a bit more to throughput from economy of scale, because you can get 100% market access everywhere anyways. So the local prices do not mean that much. I mean, I think they're still a bit different even when you have 100%, which I'm not sure how that works. Oh no, for example here, United States probably have... Oh yeah, but look here. Huh? Joacho, do you know? So max is 95%, but here you have what looks like 100%. Oh, Louisiana is probably because there's Mississippi, right? Yep. So I would have the same thing over Danube. Still 95%, it's good enough. I think that you can just remove all of those, like in most states with when you have laissez-faire. Though I think America didn't have laissez-faire, right? Yeah. But if you look at, oh yeah, Sardinia is a perfect example, because you have one of everything, which means they have zero economy of scale here. And if you put it all together, I mean, right now they're not working anyway, but imagine they actually had enough people to work in all of those spaces. You could have one place that actually has almost 50%. That's how it works, like it's 1% economy of scale. Yeah, right? I think each one gives 1%. Yep. So you could have one huge building with 50% throughput, which would be very nice. So I think that will be one of my goals during the next maybe 2 sessions or so, to actually remove all those not really necessary industries and focus them on in single regions, especially those that have actual 100% market access, because those places really do not care about local price. But yeah, but back to Brazil. Yeah, the laws are still not perfect in many ways, though it's probably not too easy to switch things around in Brazil, especially since they have some special content made by Paradox, so you never know what they throw at you. Doesn't seem like they have any huge penalties. They used to have, so that's good. They are okay on money, so that's nice. They cannot raise the taxes too much, but they can just switch governments, so that's no issue. So this is fine. They have probably still a lot more rubber to be built. Yeah, they still have a lot. And they have a lot oil, but is it all discovered? Probably not, right? Yep. Yeah, they will be getting more oil. There will be so much oil in the American market, God. Like, even running my game for just a few years, my Austria was starting to get a bit low in oil, and I'm already at maxed production capacity. So yeah. Well, 30k is probably enough if you don't care about price that much. You at least I won't get lack of resource, because with such huge numbers you really need to have much more demand than you actually gain to start to get the penalty, and the high price is not the end of the world. At least you get highly profitable oil factories, oil pumps, I guess. Brazil technology is pretty rough. Military, of course, it's not important, but those ports would be nice. They do give their ports to United States, and both Mexico had like 2k, and Brazil has 1k convoys, which does kind of suck, honestly. And society as well, that's not ideal. Yeah, Brazil is not great, honestly. They have 10 million less population than Mexico. I guess Mexico was doing more conquest, and they wanted to beat up Grand Colombia, but Germany and I think AI France joined in to prevent them. Even then, they wouldn't be ahead of Mexico in population. Though at least it should be all accepted. All mostly accepted populations. No, indigenous population, I assume, would not be accepted. Right? Yeah. By far the biggest population is Afro-Brazilians, which is interesting. I guess they had slavery for quite longer than they would historically. Yeah, I think Brazil. I'm kind of tempted to put them in D, but I think as long as they play the end with some support from the United States, they could use the oil and rubber to boost their economy a little bit, maybe get some of that Gran Colombia stuff, because I honestly could see, if their population stayed the same, I could see Persia overtaking them eventually in GDP. Right now they're very far away from each other, but Persia is gonna get that oil, and then Brazil could possibly sink into the last place of player GDP. But we'll see. It's definitely not all that great down south. And Japan, with their great flag, finally will be able to use that. Let's see how they're doing. Let's see how they're doing in their war against Qing, because they actually joined. They apparently had some issues with being unable to, at the same time, protect themselves from Qing's invasion and also invade Korea. So it looks like they're just going to all in on invasion. I'm not exactly sure where AI is going to land. Can I see which province they're trying to land? Yeah, I can see that the strategic region. There haven't been any battles just yet. If they got even like left 50k, they would probably be able to defend themselves. Did they mobilize? Doesn't seem like they did. Maybe they're doing that right now. Yeah, I think they're doing that right now. Yeah, and I think maybe they're rushing a bit too much currently. Maybe they should have. I would have waited at least to have a bit more. Yeah, oh yeah, Kanto is. It's not. Yeah. So that's actually the good move from AI, because that means they will start occupying Japan's capital. Luckily, it's not actually too big of an issue anyway. They will get at worst they will lose claim on Yangko, which is honestly not a problem. Do they have claims everywhere? Did they get them from an event or something? Probably, yeah. They're trying to make Spain and Sweden like them less. I'm not sure why, but maybe they were. Oh, claims on Korea. Okay, that makes sense. That was what I was thinking. They have unacceptable government, which sucks. They could switch to industrialist only, but I assume they don't want to, because they probably want either petite bourgeoisie or intelligentsia for passing some laws. But they are not passing any laws currently, so maybe they should. Maybe they're waiting for an election, but that's just annoying. You have to suck up all those radicals in the meantime. The laws, they still have monarchy, but at least their monarch is industrialist, so he is being somewhat useful. Proportional taxation, that's really nice. Homesteading, institutions looking good. Interventionism, so they do not have laissez-faire, which honestly might be a huge boost to both Italy and Mexico, who do have laissez-faire, so that means they have much higher possible ceiling of construction. So that being said, maybe it's because of proportional taxation. Do the others have that? Italy does have proportional. Mexico does not, because Japan does have much more construction than those two, and they have just medium taxes. So I don't know. Looks like they have much more construction. Yeah, and they're paying 40k more, but that's what you're mostly paying for the construction goods. Yeah, with even they should have more construction with laissez-faire compared to interventionism. So I'm not sure about what's going on here. They have compulsory primary schools, institutions fully charged. They're increasing their conscription rate with National Guard. Might be a bit late for that, but I think they should be fine. Like they might lose a state to the invasion, but once the numbers in their conscripted pick up, and they will get the occupation over Korea, which I think they should get, right? No, I don't know, man. Well, China didn't still fully recover from the from the war against Russia, from what I can see. So maybe that's their chance. How is Japan doing when it comes to military? They do not have wargaming, which would be really nice right now. Though China is on like general training, I think, so they are still ahead. But this might be a bit more grueling than they would want to. A bit behind on production, but well, they are still unrecognized. But yeah, technology. Military, okay. Society. Society, honestly, not too bad. They are mostly behind on production, out of all things. Let's look at their market. Ammunition, of course, is expensive. Engines, that could also be because of the war. Not really. Coal being a bit expensive. Glass. Weapons, of course. Oil. They do have some oil rigs, so it's not just whales. How many more they can get, actually? Not that much. Did they found all of it already? Not, but I don't think they have much in Chubu, right? 30 at most. They might be able to get more. And if Great Britain is going to leave, then I think there's going to be some people very interested in some states around this area. I think there's a ton of oil here, right? In South Sumatra, probably in some other places as well. And if there's a need for oil, then probably people will go for it. Apparently Japan got promised Philippines, but I'm not sure what Spain is thinking about that. There's not that much rubber in here in the first place though, and it was apparently all about that rubber. I don't know, man, honestly, like... So we have Italy and Mexico in B. With the current construction rate, it looks like Japan will be the top dog out of those three. Is Feliz... Feliz is coming back, right? He was just... we didn't have a sacrifice for him to join. That's why he wasn't playing for the majority of last session, I think. Right? Is Giorgio still here? Their issues with technology would probably be solved quite a bit if they switched from censorship and became recognized. But honestly, I could see this war going for quite a bit longer than they would want to. I mean, it took Russia a long time to beat China down, and they do have like half manpower in all of their okay, I see, so Feliz Navidad, basically. But just the amount of battalions China has. I really don't understand how AI does conscription, and I kind of think they just don't usually. Maybe they look if you go conscription and before they decide to go themselves, because in theory, if China went, how is China doing in terms of money? Like, let's get into the head of AI. Oh, they are losing a ton of money. They probably have a huge credit, right? Yeah, they do. So they could tank it for quite a bit, but it would hurt them in the long term. Oh, if they had enough ammunition, maybe it'd be different. Oh my god, look at the Qing market. Yeah, they desperately need people to help them. Guys, if you have anything to sell to Qing, it's probably a good time. They're not using any sulfur in their entire nation, wow. Oil and rubber, don't forget rubber. Yeah, so I think long term, Japan is in a really good position to become an actual GP. They do have probably their... Yeah, Italy is has the lowest amount I think required to become a GP. Portugal and Mexico are not quite there, and Japan has even more, so they will probably become a GP at some point. Though I do foresee some short-term problems with this war. I mean, to get that ticking on Korea, they would need to... Actually, how does it work? Just getting the capital state should be enough, right? But they're landing in here. So they do not need to conquer all of it, just the capital state. So it's not too bad. The AI deciding where battles will happen will have to go this relatively soon. It all depends how Chinese AI plays, and I could see them being annoying, especially with this landing, which should be stopped, but they might get some occupations and Japan might not be able to push them back. Actually, if things went really badly, I could see them losing, but that's... like, if they manage to get... the AI actually picked a very good state to invade. If they picked any other, like even one of the neighboring ones, it would be fine probably, but they actually have a chance to get Kanto. And if they do, it's might be difficult for Japan to kick them out relatively quickly. And at that point, they will get ticking on themselves. Though even if they lose this war, it's actually not a big deal, so they go in A. Because even if they lose, they just lose one claim on one Korean state, which is nothing. And honestly, I could see them just capitulating right now, after like testing this scenario in single player. And if they decide it's they cannot win or it's not worth it, they can just capitulate and go into it 5 years later and probably do it really easily. Might be finally the one tier list that goes lower than 3 hours. Austria-Hungary. Let's see. I actually don't remember what state I was in at the end of last session because I played it a little bit in single player. So what I was doing, I did run out a bit of debt because I actually have so much construction, my capitalists are not keeping up. Right now I think they're doing okay. Oh, right now, wait, I barely have any income with no public construction? What I was doing? Maybe I am spending too much on those, yeah, I probably should look into those subsidies. I'm also spending 150k on power plants, so probably that's a bit of an issue, though. I was also, all my railways have issues. Why? Yeah, I should probably look into this, but I don't think it's gonna be too much of an issue. Okay, Bohemia has a ton of... maybe I just don't need... yeah, I probably don't need additional production methods. Maybe even this. No, this I need for infrastructure, because this... Yeah, it actually needs... Like what? Yeah, it needs more infrastructure, but the... Yeah, I'm just overselling tickets, basically, I think. So probably need to do something about that, but that's just money, and I can just raise taxes anyway. So not much of an issue. I do have actually a relatively decent situation with loyalists and radicals compared to my previous sessions. For some reason, Croatia, despite being one of the best places to live in the entire world, definitely one of the best places, it's maybe the best place to live in Austria-Hungary. Yeah, and for some reason they're still super pissed off. I don't actually understand what's going on here. Maybe it's those trade centers. somehow doing something. Yeah, because I have a ton of trade centers. This might be. Let's see. Where would be the American? Is this actually the most trade centers in one province? Yeah, but even when I remove those, they need to buy goods for those, and the prices of tickets stays the same. I will look into it in the single player probably. Because it goes from, I reduce tickets by 225 and price goes from 7.5 to 7.5. And it also decreases, actually that decrease in employment is probably what's causing the most money. It still would be losing cash, but at least less. Too many railways? I mean, I do need all those railways anyways for the infrastructure. Maybe I should prioritize the tech for more infrastructure a bit more. I am behind on elevators. And it would be quite a bit. Yeah, probably should focus this a bit more. Which will reduce my need for infrastructure. Which can I reduce with Last Probably I can, right? No, I cannot. Yeah, but at least they will stop expanding it. Yeah, they're probably good if I keep the price of electricity low. Even now, in some places, it's going to be positive cash. But I just hate microing electricity in this game. It's even like there's one good view, but to see where you need more electricity. But to get it, you need to open the market and go all the way down, and then you can click here, and then you can see. And this is a great way to see. What? I think I was about to. Oh yeah, I know what I was doing at this point. So I built electricity everywhere, and now I'm just going to switch everything and see where I need more. So that might be part of the reason why I'm losing money, because I'm subsidizing all those power plants that are not making any money. Also because I want to get what? Why would I be getting? Oh yeah, I'm getting art silk, so I get cheaper oil turbine. I'm basically I try to skip coal fire plant, but I think the coal fire plant might be good because I have not much use for coal, and I have actually like plenty of coal, but oil will be a bit of an issue, so I might be going for more coal. And anyways, you want to have either coal or oil, because the first production method has uses more workers. So I will probably switch to coal. Some people are typing stuff. Yeah, I would really want to, just for the sake of managing it, to keep electricity. Even doesn't have to be like countrywide. But I guess with how the game works, it would have to be, because if you switch it to strategic regions, the strategic regions are nowhere close in size. Like in Europe, it's super dense, and then you have Brazil, and India is 2 regions, and China is like 4, depending on what you consider China, maybe 5. Yeah, Oceania, that doesn't work as one electric region. It would have to be like the system someone was talking about in chat about propagating local prices. It's just, there's too many states, man, to micromanage this way. It's just too annoying. Services and tickets are fine because it's not that much, but the electricity is annoying. I mean, grain is pretty transportable even its default form, right? So you don't have to really freeze it or anything. Fish I do get. Fish is, but I don't want more local goods. It's not what I want. Yeah, they have way too cheap transportation everywhere. And it would free some workers as well if I removed those additional working things. And services are so expensive in some places. Did I forget to switch something? I should look at this thing. Oh yeah, I forgot. I need electric lighting. Okay. And it will also give me more infrastructure. I really badly need electric streetlights. My entire economy depends on streetlights, guys. Yeah, okay, so immediately I found like 10 things to do to fix my current issues. But let's look at what Austria is right now. I finally have a legitimate government for the most part, because getting an actual president instead of Habsburg, unfortunately, is much better. I do have a movement for state atheism, who is a bit more popular than I would want them, but probably eventually they will die down. I hope, because I'm not passing that. Well, it's kind of based, but it's just you get only 20%, and you just discriminate everyone, and it's not like I have perfect situation with radicals anyway. I don't think so. I'll think about it, but I don't think so. Anyways, I'm getting women's suffrage because of a nice movement, so that's pretty nice. It's going to the nice thing about women's suffrage versus women in the workplace, they get the same penalty to birth rate, but you get 5% more workforce ratio, so there's no reason not to go here if you can, and you want to go further down. And other than that, I think my laws. Oh yeah, I need primary schools, but I do have protected speech, which I think did a ton of for me this session for when it comes to getting techs. I think I caught up with the top. Yeah, you do get more voters with women's suffrage, but I don't think it really matters that much. Oh damn, that random commentator sounds really nice, like he deserves some free dolls. Yeah, but I do want trade unions to get more power. Trade unions are really nice in a lot of things. Probably if I get a good movement I will go into universal suffrage, but currently it's not really an option. If I do get some good movements, I was thinking I won't be doing that, but it turns out the Austria's economy is actually kinda limited by the ports, more than I would think, because eventually I run into a situation where everything is so super cheap on my market, except things I'm importing, and then there's nothing more to produce because it's just getting more cheaper, and I don't think the GDP is growing at that point. So might as well go for some memes. While talking about the market, of course, missing more rubber. I will probably reduce the amount of tools I'm producing because I don't need as many tools. Like really. And be getting more cars because apparently everyone wants car. Yeah, I'm exporting half of my cars. Everyone is driving Skoda as it was meant to be. That's really nice. I need to produce more engines because they are actually high prices. Telephones like everywhere. It looks like I'm exporting my silk to somewhere for some reason. Steel is a bit expensive. That's a bit of an issue that I should solve as soon as possible. But glass, lead is cheap, iron is cheap. Sulfur is actually cheap, which is surprising, because it's all important pretty much. Oil, of course, cheap, because I'm producing a metric ton. And technology, I'm almost finished with H4 in production. Almost finished with, 60-70% done with military H4, and society halfway done. should probably focus a bit more on this infrastructure. That would probably help me quite a bit. Yeah, I mean, we'll see if it turns out there's people in the British market who will need some help, because if the British market does collapse after UK being AI and India leaving, because I assume they would leave if it was an AI, then well, I mean, if nobody would want that, possibly. So that's that. I switched to gold company because I realized I don't have any good company to get, and I mean, just free money means more construction. This is a really good oil company. 20% extractors throughput. It's the Romanian one, so it's really good. And this one is decent as well. I mean, railway building throughput and more tooling workshops. And I got this one because for some reason I have a lot of trouble getting my companies to be prosperous, but for some reason Skoda would actually be prosperous when it wasn't for the last 8 years, or however long we've been playing. Oh yeah, I realized it's not global average productivity of those particular buildings. I think it's global average productivity of all buildings. So this is a bit easier, I guess, to get, but for some reason I had a lot of troubles with that. Yeah, I think Austria just goes into plain A. Now, I mean, like the average great power currently, like Germany, Russia, and United States of America are higher. UK and France are lower. India is, yeah, of course, India is higher, but they're technically speaking, they're not GP. And a few final ones. Is it going to be US? Probably not. Yeah, but the farming companies, you get at least the construction bonus, which, considering they're so cheap anyway, that's really good. But you do not get their bonuses, which is, on the other hand, sad. I'm not jinxing it, I'm just telling you how it's gonna be. Arabia actually has 26 million people, which does mean potentially they could compete with Mexico, but currently they are not. They had a lot of issues with. I think they had only one civil war, but a lot of secession movements.
Hello.
Oh, hey, you're here. You do have laissez-faire, free trade, per capita taxation. Though you wouldn't benefit that much from proportional. Though I guess your economy is smaller overall. Private health. You are getting propertied women, though are you running out of peasants? Oh, you are. You actually are. So that makes sense.
And it's also demanded by the industrialists, as well as even better child labor thingy. And I want to use that.
Okay.
I want to use that, give them that happiness bonus to then pass a law they don't want to pass. I'm deciding between old age pensions and public health insurance. As for taxes, I'm not going to move them. You know how the sessions happened. I've been running on highest taxes for 2 sessions at the same time, and I had nearly 10 million of radicals. So higher taxes is not a way I plan to go.
You can get recessions
quite the opposite,
really easy,
Global.
even if like the pops are pretty happy. That's I've noticed it just kind of happens randomly sometimes when people get pissed.
Yeah, but I still think I should.
Yeah, of course it does increase.
Aim for more royalists.
You are doing well on money though. Did you remove some construction or did you just stay at 300?
I didn't do anything with construction.
Yeah, it is pretty low at this point of the game. If you want to compete with Mexico, for example, for GDP, then you would need a ton more. But Mexico is having it easy with cash because they have just a ton of gold mines, so that is helping them a lot. Though you're at least stable in your budget currently, so that's good. Oh, you are quite a bit behind. Oh yeah, you were rushing to combustion engine.
Better derricks, yes.
Missing 2 techs, which unfortunately meant a penalty of 50% on the cost of the tech. But yeah, that's this gives you a lot more automation, right?
Well, I plan to get conveyors after that for that labor-saving tech, and
Yeah,
that requires the other 2 techs. So
oh yeah,
I'll be
that's
fine
good for
with
you.
that.
Military behind, but of course that's not that relevant. And society also behind, so overall, unfortunately, that's quite a bit behind. I'm kind of surprised if you don't really have that many universities. You could even build up more to get basic innovation, but universities even over the cap give you a bit more spread. So though at this point, I guess, yeah, you don't have that much construction, you have so much stuff other to do. Oh, yeah, a lot of oil.
I've oil back there. I'll be moving that oil forward.
Maybe oil will be the thing that brings you up.
Which is why I want that.
Currently, you don't have that much, but I assume it's not all discovered.
And no, there is much more in Iraq to be discovered yet.
Oh yeah, Iraq, of course. Well, it looks like it's only Basra, but if it's 60, then it's pretty good. And probably more in Oromia, maybe? Or is it rubber? Could be also rubber. Yeah.
There's rubber in the two.
Yeah, rubber. You could be getting a lot more rubber, and I can tell you there's a lot of people who would really want to buy it. Not just me, but also Russia, for example, and Germany. Though Germany might be able to get some from their own colonies eventually. But rubber is also, I think oil is top 1 currently, rubber is top 2. Good to make. How is your market? Because you are the biggest individual market in the game, which is something. A bit issue with iron out of all things. I mean, you do have at least space to build them, though I'm not sure how population in Sinai is looking currently. Yeah, not great. Palestine as well is not that populous.
I'm actually considering getting the migration law even worse, so that my discriminated workers from Ethiopia might move into those provinces.
Yeah, I was wondering how much do these discriminated workers travel? I guess if they can get really good jobs, they do, but I'm not sure. I guess if you're in your own market, you're not under threat of the people leaving you that much, so that's good.
Oh, I'm getting people from the British market, from Persia, actually. So
yeah, I know. I've noticed. I've noticed.
Pre-migration waves.
Your market is not in the healthiest state currently. Iron, fertilizer, glass, steel, lead, that's a lot of important goods that are not that easy. You do have steel sectors as well.
I'll be playing with the import and export a bit more, and I still have many more ports to build.
Yeah, I would. If I were you, I would honestly. I've been because of my situation, I've been doing a lot more experimenting with ports, and I honestly think if you can just get your ports everywhere, you could start buying stuff from people and then selling them to other people, and you would make money and increase your GDP in this way, and eventually you will be able to use those ports anyway. So I guess
try to build them in most populous provinces to ensure that they'll be fully employed. And more techs keep unlocking more levels, and they are.
Oh yeah, I guess you don't have all of them yet. No, you don't have all of them.
There's too many more to build. Yes, I kind of rushed it to get those modern ports.
Yeah, and the ports are really prioritized when it comes to employment because they really like that government money apparently. So you probably could do a lot more ports. And then because, for example, you could import stuff that you're missing, but also you have really good stuff that you could be exporting, like dyes, opium. I'm not sure if anyone needs opium more, but grain is very cheap at your place as well. So that would probably help you quite a bit with balancing stuff. Though you have pretty decent amount of convoys. You have almost as many convoys as I do, and I won't be getting more because I have absolute maximum. And maybe if I could get some people into Montenegro, which is probably not going to be happening, then I could get like 2k more, but yeah, I think Arabia goes into B, all things considered. Is it this right?
All right.
Which is above Persia, which is what counts, apparently. Okay.
All right. See ya.
See ya. And now it's going to be 50-50, which we all know how it's going to end up. No. It is United States, as not the last one. It did keep us on the edge of our toes there, but it is actually United States.
Let's go.
Hey, so a bit of that. You do have low taxes, but yeah, fair amount of radicals too.
Yeah, they're a huge problem.
It's
But it's fine.
Yeah, that's probably from discrimination, right?
I think so.
And no, actually,
Because it's not dropping, even if I lower... even
the-
if I lower the taxes, it didn't really drop.
their biggest problem is unfulfilled political movements, which is, I guess, well, you don't really.
Homesteading.
Yeah, currently it's homesteading, but it only has been here from you enacting the law, so maybe it's people from other. Yeah, Council Republics has barely any support, so it shouldn't matter.
Yeah, it has happened earlier as well.
Yeah, because currently you got most of your radicals from political movements. Unless, oh yeah, you've been talking that you had a lot of unsuccessful laws, right? For this
Yeah.
entire session. So maybe just people
Yeah.
opposing those laws were just accumulating over time.
Yeah, but I think it's mostly discrimination. I think
yeah,
so.
I mean, discrimination is up there as well. It's over 1 million from discrimination and million.
Yeah, that's only
0.3
it only says recently. It doesn't say the full.
Yeah,
full impact.
it is that 2 million. Yeah, that's true, because it's within the last year.
And
Still gaining
discrimination has been on the
another,
top for like 15 years.
Gaining 10% more over a year when you have already quarter, that's not ideal. I don't know what to do with.
I know
Okay.
what to do. I have a plan. I tried in single player.
Are you going to be staying state atheist, or do you have a different plan?
Yes, of course.
Of course.
Like,
okay,
I'm not
okay.
gonna change that.
Yeah. Do you have your ports maxed out everywhere or not?
No.
No. So what's the problem? Just build more ports. If I were you, I would be building so many ports. Like,
I have the most port for the entire game, except maybe this session. And the 2 first sessions, I guess.
yeah. I'm just so fixated on the ports because Austria-Hungary is really hard. Like, if I didn't get those provinces over the Black Sea, it would be really bad.
Yeah, you would really be struggling.
And even that, it's not as much as I would hope. But I have some plan. But it's we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, you're gonna get Indonesia. I know.
Well, that's the
You're gonna get Greece. That's the only port.
Greece was giving me a bit of when they were in my customs market, but I guess they are also, once India joined the British market, the British market became so big. I think AI values just the value of market more than anything else, and they are bordering British market through Turkey, so probably that's why I'm not sure why they switched to France at some point, but who knows.
They're atheists, by the way, Greece.
Are they? Oh yeah, they are. Oh my god, based. Are they? Let me look at the population. Are there actually? Yeah, they're honestly in their case, it's not that bad because they would probably not accept Sunnis from the lands they received. So a ton of their population was oppressed anyway. But with the atheists, they at least get 20% in those new regions. So it might not have been a bad idea, honestly. Okay, let's look. Technology or finishing age 4 in production. Doing okay on military. I may be a bit behind, but not too bad. And society good as well. Yeah, people have really kind of evened out on technology. You'd think over time there would be people going further ahead and more behind, but it kind of looks like everyone is
I
just...
mean, I feel like I'm ahead in tech.
Oh, you did take 2 society ahead of time, which probably were super expensive.
Yeah, they cost like, let's see. Okay, maybe not that much. 26k.
Yeah, I mean, is 50% additional cost. So basically, for those 2, you could have gotten free if you took those 2 first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, out of GPs, of course. I mean, but you're, for example, a few techs behind me on production.
Oh, you had more?
Yeah, I have.
I mean, you have.
I have 2 techs more in production, I think, because free actually, because I only need 2 more to start getting all turbine, without penalty.
All right. I don't know why you're going for that one. I don't see how that will help you.
Yeah, I was thinking before that I had so much oil that I could focus on oil power plants, but turns out you can never have too much oil. So yeah.
Yeah.
It's
oil is after getting compression ignition, you the world runs out of oil.
I don't know though. There's so many places that in theory should have so much oil, like Russia, Arabia. Persia has so much possible oil, though they might have some issues getting people to work on those places. Actually,
Okay.
Does India have any oil?
Let me do the calculations.
Nah, India has no oil, man. Wow, like actually 30 oil in their entire country.
Okay, it wasn't that bad actually, but if I get diesel pumps for all my mines when I eventually get compression ignition, I'm gonna use 10k oil only on mines.
Yep, that's
And that's
a
1/3 of
lot.
what you make in total.
That's a lot, but then again, with so much you can go like if you're making like 30k, you can go 40, even I think 50, and still just have higher price, which is not the end of the world. As long as you're not actually missing the resource. And I mean, Austria-Hungary doesn't have that much oil compared to... I think Russia will have more, for example. And maybe in the
I'm
Middle
guessing
East,
Russia will make the most oil at the end of the game.
probably, depending on how much they focus on it. Because I think in some they need to start building them early, because in some places they need more population to move, actually move there. Yeah, like this has 60k population, which means like 20k workers, and sure, there's nobody working here in anything, but 30 oil rigs, that will be a bit too much for them to carry. Okay, so okay in tech has some issues with radicals. Market is not too bad, just some stuff to figure out, but are you guys missing iron?
I'm not sure how it happened. It's probably because Felix is an AI.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at it. I'm looking at India. It's Indian market. Never played. I think it was Indian market. Yeah, I mean British. Yeah,
Oh,
you guys
okay,
are,
you only
yeah,
have +6 on iron.
yeah.
It's not the worst.
Yeah, the groceries is kind of random, but I guess Brazil can figure that problem out with meat.
Yeah, another problem though with the groceries is that liquor is too cheap. So it doesn't focus on making enough grocery factories or
yeah,
groceries.
I think I
Food
had an
industries.
opposite problem, that my people want too much liquor for what is being produced.
The thing is, I have wine. No, wait, that's not
Yeah, I think my
wine.
pups just want more
Coffee.
liquor.
I have
Oh
coffee
yeah,
and tea.
coffee, and it's yeah. Though my
6K
real issue
coffee.
with food industries is I need more sugar, and the basic grain is not enough sugar. I need to import quite a bit from other places, which is also annoying because importing stuff for me is a pain. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
all comes down to the same problem. God damn it.
Yeah, you would be way more powerful if only you could export more and import more as well.
Yeah, and even like just from the land lines, I can import a ton, and it helps me a lot. But I just cannot control trade at that point because my actually important trade lines start going down, and everything goes up, which is good for the economy, but like for numbers for the economy, but not actually good for long-term growth, which is unfortunate. But the real question is United States an A tier nation or
No,
an
it's
S
what do you
tier
mean?
nation?
It's an SS tier. I've already told you this. Come on. Okay, but hold on. Okay, plans for next session, okay? I don't
Okay.
know if
Give
you've
it to
read
me.
anything.
Give it to me. Give it to me.
Okay. You see I'm getting commercialized agriculture, right?
Yeah.
So we're getting rid of the human farmers. We're giving all the power to the bourgeois. And they will eventually want um single party state because they're gonna get fascist.
State.
And th-
Okay.
and and then we're gonna get command economy. And at the start of next session, I'm going right to 4K construction.
4K. I think
4K.
4K might be difficult for not because of the money, but because of the resources. Let me see. How much you're
It
using?
was I tried it in single player. It actually worked. I don't know why, but it worked. So I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, you would like double your required glass. Though it with such huge numbers, the prices are not increasing as fast.
Yes,
So
I can also
maybe.
change. I can also change porcelain to be a bit more expensive to get cheaper
Yeah,
glass.
I actually need to switch more into porcelain because I'm importing that, and I shouldn't be. Because I think I switched all my. I'm not sure if I did already. Switch all my glass bases into the oil thing. Oh no, I didn't. Which I should do, because for the time being, there's nothing else I could use my oil on. Also, at some point, I think. Yeah, Russia was nominated for the Victory Award, which, well, is probably. I think United States still go into S. Just
Okay,
because.
I have another thing to say as well. Okay.
Okay.
Um, I still have a lot of peasants left because I haven't really gotten all the automation PMs because I'm waiting to actually use up my peasants.
Yeah, and you do
And
have huge enough economy that you're gaining 1 million new pops every year, which is actually significant when it comes to. Would you get that much from automation?
yes, there is a lot of automation left. But I need to make the electricity, which is what the 4K construction is going to be used for. It's going to be used for electricity.
Yeah, God. Though I think you have about the same amount of states as I do. Yours just are a lot bigger, but that's a lot of micromanaging. Though I mean, some are bigger, some are really tiny.
It's going to be a pain, but I'm going to do it.
Yeah, it's basically.
Because I can't let Russia surpass me.
Top one
Can't
is
let it happen.
basically between you, Russia, and India, with Germany possibly doing something if they manage to get maybe more population for colonies or something. Maybe.
Top one is possible as long as Felix doesn't crash and makes oil for me.
All the hope in Phillies. Okay. Let's go into the final nation. We will be getting this done below 3 hours, which is a godsend for my voice. Actually, a bit of a water break.
I'm gonna go. I have to do something. Goodbye.
Okay, see ya, but that means there's you better send someone to vote for you.
Oh right. Shit. Okay, I'll try to do it.
Yeah, you don't have to watch that much. You just wait for the ping from the.
Yeah.
Okay,
Goodbye.
see ya. Let's see Spain. Spain potentially, they do have quite a bit of population actually. 35 million. I mean, they have about the same population as Italy. They gained a fair amount from integrating Morocco, which also meant they lost West Sahara because AIs just went into this colonization instantly, which also means I didn't get to colonize those places, which is I got colonization specifically to get those, but I just didn't notice. AI was too fast. Britain for underdog. Okay. Where's this? I wonder if... Can I add the same thing again? I can! Nice. I figured out a new thing. Okay, Spain, decent income. Yeah, they very low construction, but they could afford a lot more. Oh, that's a lot of radicals, but probably mostly in the mostly in Morocco, but also in Catalonia. Are the Catalans actually oppressed or something? Oh, they are actually being discriminated against because it's an ethno state. Ooh, and the Galicians as well. I see. They do have more. Oh, so that's why they have so much money. They have a ton of consumption taxes. Like, actually, a ton. Some of those are really not worth anything. Like, yeah, definitely could optimize those a little bit. Don't know for how long they've been here. But definitely could get more money. Ethnostate might not be too bad of an idea. It does give you a ton of authority. And they do have like monarchy and stuff, so they could use this to get more consumption taxes to just go ham on construction. But currently they're not doing that. They're not even building anything from their... Oh, which is probably why they're making so much money. But definitely could be something done about this. They have more GDP than Arabia, I think, yeah, but less than Mexico, despite having more population. They have quite low literacy. Maybe the least literacy out of player nations, honestly. It shows states. Maybe India has slightly less. But other than that, I think out of player nations, Spain has the least. Which, I mean, they were played by AI for a long time. They do have religious schools, so it's not the best institution as well, and charity hospitals as well. Mercantilism, which supposedly is not ideal, even though like functionally there's not much difference between this and protectionism. In protectionism you get better production methods in trade centers, basically more capitalists. They do have commercialized agriculture, which is nice and might be getting them some not really. Maybe they have passed it relatively recently, but they do not have trade unions at all. And they have the same problem as I did, which is their king is in landowners, At least the next guy is an industrialist, but that does mean that their legitimacy suffers, but it's not too bad actually. Legal guardian. Do they have? They still have a ton of peasants. Probably some of them are from Morocco, but it's a significant space to industrialize. If they hired all their peasants, they would easily be higher than Mexico, I think, in GDP, at least. Could they be another contender for top 10 in GDP? I mean, maybe if they got someone to help them out against France in Africa, it could be a potential source of population and other stuff. I don't think they have any good resources. Yeah, barely any oil. They do have some rubber, probably like in the Philippines and in some of their smaller colonies around here. They will probably have enough for themselves for the time being, but that's nothing significant. Let's look at tech. Halfway down through production, that's not great. Really behind on military, which considering they are in Europe, that's pretty bad. Like, they have a good amount of battalions, but their quality is okay compared. So we have 9,000 and only 10,000 for Italy, but still. Yeah, in theory China is weaker despite fighting Russia for like a year or two. Yeah, but really behind in military. Society is probably the best out of no. They're only now finishing feminism, which means they could get some very important techs like Zeppelins. Apparently elevators, something I skipped, but it's really good. More companies is always good. More minting. Telephone switchboards, like I think it's not really necessary, but what I did experiment is just getting telephone switchboards and removing some government administration to get more peasants. But it's a lot of micro, and for Spain it's not really relevant. Multilateral alliances not that strong. Antibiotics are nice, but malaria at this point not really that worth it. So about half the techs in society are really good, so you better hope for some good rolls with technology spread. But it also seems like they're kind of low on. They're up to their innovation cap, but they were played by AI for the longest time. Their market is typical problems. Engines are kind of surprising. They are producing the majority on their own, buying some from me. Wood is really expensive, which is wood is actually really nice, good, because it's very cheap. You can get some people just into employment. So if they have good price on wood, I would just build those. Yeah, a lot of expensive goods all over the place. Are they producing their own cars? They are producing their own cars. Yeah, one of 5 nations. Yeah, it's yeah, they don't have that many ports. With 10k convoys, that's actually not too bad. I think considering for how long they've been played by AI, they go into tier B. But if during the next session they still being kind of lagging behind even Arabia or Mexico, then they will start going down because there's just not that much time to catch up, and they have quite a bit. As you can see on the graph, they've been growing really hard in the recent years. So maybe this will continue, but they will need more construction and just a lot of small stuff to fix. Yeah, I think the Chinese armies still haven't recovered from the war against Russia. Matty and Joacho discussing who's stronger, Russia or USA. Joacho, potential is bigger, but America can't be so easily toppled. Sure. Yeah, I think let's look at just pops. Yeah, the 60 million pops is going to be hard to overtake, just like it's going to be hard to overtake additional 100 million of India, though things are possible for each of those three. I think the most likely order is going to be just by population in the end. Like once we get into small differences, like between me, Germany, and well, US is ahead a fair amount. Over 10 billion, I think it's hard to overcome over the entire game. Though we'll see. So every nation is now selected to a tier. Just giving a few more seconds for everyone to put additional nominees for the vote. We're going to be starting with Sickman of Slasher Europe. Egypt is still nominated, just saying. I guess he's not here, which is unfortunate. It's an easy win for Egypt. It was Persia and Portugal, which is, well, oh god. I clicked something I didn't want to. Let's start the first vote, just a minute. And yeah, it's looking how you'd think. Asia and America were part of the same continent a long time ago. True, true. And easy win for Egypt, which is a loss for Persia. Now for the ultimate underdog. Public Diplo in Twitch chat. Considering Great Britain is possibly not going to be played by a player, they are, in a way, an underdog for sure. But are they the ultimate underdog? That's for you to decide. I don't think any nulls are going to be used here. Well, I guess there is people who want Mexico to win. Some of those people want Mexico to win really badly. My words are backed by monitors. Mexico is the true land power of the Americas. That's undoubtable currently. There's a lot of people voting, unless someone is voting for both sides, which I don't think is possible. So it happened. Great Britain, with 52% of the vote, wins this one. This was much more of a nail biter than I expected, but it is Great Britain. Cursed percent. I was thinking it's gonna be 50-50, not gonna lie. Who's for the... United States are not even competing in the last thing. Wow. They just gave up. They just realized they cannot compete, I guess. Yeah, it looks like they just did. Mati, I agree. US have accepted the true position in the world. I mean, it would be fitting if Great Britain won this session because they didn't win in any meaningful category except for causing the most chaos, which is the one that matters the most for the majority of players in their actual game. Wait, did US nominate themselves? If they did, we will have to redo the vote. So, hope you guys... No one spent any nulls, so don't get ahead of yourself. Okay, Georgia did nominate himself. Sorry about that. So this the vote will have to be redone with the US up there actually. That's true, that's true. I missed it somehow. I didn't miss anything else, so that's good. We're redoing the vote. I think there will be a surprising amount of votes for the United Kingdom, honestly. They seem to have a lot of people at least like to see them go. Is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? That remains to be seen, but... Oh no, United States cannot vote! I have no clue why wouldn't you be able to vote, but I actually don't know how to vote in the first place. I think he figured out how to vote, guys. I think he did figure it out. Yeah, a lot of fans of United Kingdom, they're going out with a bang. The last hurrah of the light cavalry, or however it was called. Yep, and now United Kingdom. There's still like 2 sessions left, so United States might be able to get their win. And guys, how about I do an additional stream just so Joshua can get more nulls from the tier list and get his 1 win. Oh, it was so Joshua apparently couldn't vote. So maybe something with a phone. Maybe you're not logged in on your phone on your account. And no, you're chatting, so no. What did Arabia do to Mexico? Yeah, I think Italy was neutral in those discussions. But yeah, anyways, thanks for showing up, guys. We did make it. Oh, voted against Mexico, of course. Made it under 3 hours, so that's a big win for all of us. What? I'm not sure why the awards vanished, but they are still here. Yeah, so see you guys on Thursday. Bye.